Welcome to another episode of Taco Talks Tech Tuesday. This right here is the Ostation 2 Pro 3-in-1 smart battery charger. So full disclaimer, they did send this out to me for me to check out. They said, hey, you want to take a look at this charger? And I said, why not? So this is what this channel is all about. We're going to take a look at some tech that I would never think of buying, and I want to take a look at what this is. So this is apparently, and I have the specs here just so I can have some idea, some reference of what it is about. Basically, you're able to get these rechargeable batteries, both AA and AAA, and you're able to then just plop them into this device. It'll charge them for you, then it'll organize them for you, and then you can just use them. So then you always have AA batteries and AAA batteries pretty much ready to go whenever you need them and want to use them. So let's go ahead and open this guy up here. Oh, and in this bundle comes with the station itself, but it also comes with, looks like 3 packs of 1, 2, 3, 4. So 12 AA batteries, because you get 3 of these packs. And then you get 1 pack of these AAA batteries, which is a 12 pack. So 24 batteries in total. Again, 12 of the AA and 12 of the AAA. Okay, so inside the box here, you'll get a power brick. So it's a USB-C power brick. Then you get a USB-C to USB-C cable here. I'll be honest, this is a lot smaller than I thought it was gonna be, because on the images that they sent me, it looked big. Take off that protective film. So the way this works is, again, you just have to open up here, the top, you just plop in the batteries, AAA in the front, AA in the back, and then it just auto charges them, and it'll auto deposit them into this depository section or repository section down here. And you should just be able to take the batteries out and use them. And it also has this wireless magnetic spot down on the left that actually pops out and in. As far as I understand, it's meant for their flashlights that they also sell from the same brand. And there is also a third repository here, which is a recycling bin. Basically, it's meant for it to deposit batteries that aren't meant to be put in here, whether that's disposable batteries or batteries that aren't compatible with this. And speaking of compatibility, you are able to use any NEMH batteries. So for example, you get AAA batteries that are NEMH, but if you want to use any lithium, you do have to use the EcoLast one. Another thing is that they're calling it polarity free, which basically means that you can just deposit the batteries in any direction. You don't have to put them in a special direction. And it'll auto charge it or auto adjust based on how you put them in. So it really is as dumb proof as it can be. So, you know, I don't know, my friends, my parents, you could just take their batteries, just put them in, and they shouldn't have to worry about it. But we're gonna test it out. So let me go ahead and plug this guy in. All right, we got a boot up. Okay, so it looks like it's probably ready to go. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Looks like it's just waiting for me to actually put something in here. So I'm gonna start with these AA batteries here. So I do have a battery tester here to see what the current juice is of a battery. You can see here that this one in particular is actually fully charged right now, so probably doesn't need charge. And I also have a disposable one here. I want to see what happens when I plop one of these in. So I'm going to put it in to the AA compartment up here, and I want to see what it does. And I'm going to do the same thing with this AAA one. Go ahead and plop this one in as well and see what happens. And then on top of that, I'm going to also just put these in as well, see what happens. You know, it's supposed to be polar free, so I'm gonna go ahead and just, okay, I see the AAA going through the motions over there. I'm gonna just throw them in there, and we're gonna see what happens. Kind of loud, it makes a little humming noise, but I'm guessing that's probably what it needs to do for charging, I don't know. And it is able to charge 4 batteries at a time. That's why you can see 4 indicators, 2 AAA at a time, and then 2 AA at a time. Did I deposit it in here? It did. Okay, so it took that disposable one and threw it in here. Nice. So I'm gonna test it again, but this time I'm gonna throw in a disposable one again. Again, I'm gonna toss in the chargeable one in any direction. So I've been putting them back and forth just to see what happens here. And theoretically, I could just keep loading it up because it's not super full in there. And so as I'm loading them, I'm checking to see what their status is in terms of, you know, how charged are they before going in. And I'll be honest, right now, most of them seem to be pretty much fully charged. So it looks like you can pretty much fit 12 of them. I've pretty much stacked up the full AAA batteries there, and it took all 12 that came with the bundle here. So I was able to stuff in there all of the batteries that came in the 3 packs for the AA back here. So this is how you look at the battery status of each one, the settings. Or you can go to a mobile app, screen off. So if you don't want this to bother you at night for some reason, so you can tap it to wake it though. Guessing, this is to completely turn it off, and look, it's like an iPhone, sort of. Oh, that animation is kind of cute. So what happens when you turn it off? Oh, okay. So you double tap it and it allows you to turn it back on. So right now I did hear that it stopped making those little hissing noises, like the charging part of it. So it did stop the charging. If I turn it back on, going through the motions again and calculating where it's at. So yeah, it does turn it off completely if you want to do that. So maybe if like you're going out of town or something for a while, you probably want to turn it off. Even though it is meant to, you know, detect and prevent any kind of overcharging, any kind of issues. Also, it adjusts the power that it's pulling in based on if it needs to cool things off a little bit. So it's supposed to be, you know, self-sufficient on its own, but better safe than sorry. So it's nice that you have the ability to turn it off, I would say. Overall, not much you can do here from the actual station here, but nice that it has those different settings. And there is an app that you can download. So I'm gonna go ahead and download the application for it on my phone. Okay, so I've downloaded their app, and I gotta admit, it's looking kind of rough to me. I mean, right away it's trying to sell me products. All I wanted to do was control or view the status of my batteries, but there is a My Devices button there. So let's try setting this up now. I found a device. Okay, add it. Looks like it's going through the motions. Done. So there is an update that I need to do apparently. So from here, it looks like you can see similar data, I would say, to what you see there. So you can see the battery percentage. One invalid battery was found during this period. And here's, I think, where you can do the schedule, which is weird that you couldn't do it from the actual station itself. Oh, now it lets me. I guess you had to connect. I guess I had to figure out like what time it was maybe by connecting to the Wi-Fi. Still pretty cool that you can have easy access to the devices or the battery's current charging status from your phone. So we'll use this for about a week, and I'll come back and give you guys my thoughts after I've used these batteries for a little bit. Okay, so it's been around 2 weeks now since I've started using the Ostation 2 Pro, and I have a couple of thoughts. So the first thing I want to answer is, why did I get this? Why did I say yes to this partnership? Well, it's because I still have products that use disposable or just regular batteries instead of them being rechargeable. Most things nowadays are rechargeable, which is nice, but at the same time, it's kind of nice that some products still use regular batteries, because then if the battery starts to, I don't know, not last as long, you can just pop in new batteries versus something that has the battery built in. It can be a mess. Either way, making sure you have disposable batteries on hand can be annoying, especially if some of your products, the battery just goes by fast, like it depletes really quick. And just like that, I do have one product that does that, which is really annoying, and that's the MetaQuest 3S, specifically the controllers. I don't know why, but these controllers, when they're just idling, just sitting there, I don't know why, one of them just dies really quickly. I think it's the left one specifically. I did read that it is potentially a bug online, or maybe they're just sensitive because if, I don't know, something moves in the room, or if the shelf moves that they're on, it may detect or think that it's on, and so then the battery is just waiting for you to interact with it. Either way, one of them dies really quickly, and it can be really annoying because I sometimes use this once a month or so, or every other month. I don't know. It's rare that I use it. But when I do want to use it, it's annoying that I have to quickly change the battery because one of them has died. And of course, I would still have to swap out the battery with the Ostation. I would still have to grab one of their batteries from here. But because these are rechargeable, I don't have to worry about having them on hand. Disposable ones, if I run out and I want to use this, then I'm out of luck. I have to go to the store and buy some more or order some online, whatever. With this, I always have some batteries ready to go because they're just waiting here for me to grab them because they can be recharged on their own. So that's why I said yes, because I had this issue and I thought, you know what, this might be something that may solve the issue that I have. On top of that, just again, the overall convenience of having rechargeable batteries on hand. And I've used them in the Meta Quest 3S, like I said, especially on the controllers. I've used them on my Xbox controller here and on the remote controller for my TV. And while I can't really speak much on the battery life, how long they last, because I've only been using them for about 2 weeks now, they have been providing enough juice to the specific devices, the controllers, so that the controllers function as normal. I also am using it on one of the water filters that I have on a AAA battery. Again, that one's very minimal in terms of how it's being used. So I can't really speak on how that type of battery really affects the performance of the water filter. Another reason why I really thought this was a cool thing is because it's basically an organizer. So because you pop batteries in from the top, the ones that haven't charged yet stay at the top, and then the ones that have charged are down here, like I showed you in the beginning of the video. So it's convenient because you don't have to have a separate caddy, a separate thing to hold your batteries. Instead, this just keeps all of those batteries within the actual machine. So that is a cool feature that this has, the auto sorting, where you put the AAAs in the front and the AA's in the back. I did test it to see what would happen if you put AAAs in the back, because the AA's size is obviously bigger, and it does give you a warning whenever it detects that there is something that doesn't belong in there. So it actually got jammed and you have to unplug it, tilt it over and unjam the battery that's in there. So it does give you a warning that whatever you put in there, if it's not meant to be in there, then it'll tell you. And of course, I auto tested to see if it detected any disposable batteries in here, because it's supposed to do that as well. It's supposed to also do it for any batteries that have like leakage. So if it detects that the health of the battery is no bueno, then it should give you a warning, or should just deposit them into this top container where it'll house all the batteries that weren't actually meant to be used in this. But what I noticed is that you can see here, it auto put in some of the batteries that are meant to go in here. NIMH battery got put in here, which should have been put in the AAA. It could have been that this battery was fully charged, and so it just said, I don't want to put this through the cycle, and let me just toss it in here. That could be the reason why. But for the ones that do have to get charged and go through the charging cycle, down here, like I said, you have your AAA and your AA sections. So what are some things that I wish this did better? One is the app. The app is, I want to say, garbage, mainly because you open it up and the first thing you see is a store. It's trying to sell you stuff. It's trying to sell you their flashlights. I think I mostly sell flashlights, but whatever other stuff that the company sells, that's the first thing you see on the page. And in my opinion, I think the app should focus on your devices. The devices button is in the middle, and there's not much you can really do within the app. I find that it just gives you a little bit more info in terms of what each of these stats actually mean, because you can see here it's kind of just blank. It doesn't really tell you much about what it actually means. For example, this just says a check mark and an X. That is supposed to mean how many batteries did go through the charge cycle and how many batteries that weren't meant to be put through the cycle were detected. In this case, it said 2. I don't know how many actually were detected as wrong. There's 6 in here right now, but at any given point that I checked it, it never got to 6. So I'm not sure how it counts it and what the algorithm is in terms of that number, but all I can say is that it at least works physically, but that number may not be the most reliable. But all that to say is that still, the app doesn't give you much more than what you see right here on the screen. So while it is nice that I could be out and about and see what the battery life is through my phone on the app, I personally don't see a huge benefit of using it. I think they should add a little bit more functionality to it, and of course make the app more focused on controlling the device. But at the same time, what all do you need to be able to do through the app through here. I think most of it should just remain within the actual device, which is true. Pretty much all the stuff that you can do on a device, you can do on the app and vice versa. So it's good that you don't have to necessarily download the app if you don't want to. Another thing is I kind of wish that they would make this a little bit more useful, this side compartment that is meant to be for their own flashlights so you could charge them. Since I don't own any of their flashlights, it's kind of pointless to me. Maybe bundle one with one, just so it's a little bit useful. That way, you know, it kind of motivates me to want to buy more flashlights, but because I don't have any of their flashlights, it kind of just is a waste of space here, and maybe they could reduce the price if they included one with it, or if they actually just remove this whole piece from it. So all that to say is, personally, I think that I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep using this and reliably trust it with all my devices that require batteries. And do I think that you should go out and get one for 160 bucks with the current sale that I saw? It seems like a pretty good price. I mean, over time, if you think about it, you could spend maybe 10s, 20s, 30s, almost hundreds of dollars towards disposable batteries, which I think I've spent at least around 50 bucks on disposable batteries in the last year and a half or so. So knowing that I could just rely on these to just go through and use them for, I don't know how long, but they should last a good bit, potentially longer than disposable batteries. So that 160 bucks may, over time, may make itself worth it. So I've always wanted to check something like this out, and the fact that they partnered up with me to check this out, I think, you know, was a win-win for me. So I think this is still pretty cool, and I think it's worth you checking out. So let me know what you guys think of the Ostation Pro 2. Otherwise, that's basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.